You are listening to This Week in Taiwan. I'm Eloise Phillips. Every Saturday, we break down the biggest stories making headlines across the country, from politics and economics to culture and the unexpected. Whether you're tuning in from Taipei or halfway around the world, we've got you covered with what you need to know to stay in the loop. Taiwan's Republic of China Army held its 80th anniversary Friday, May 29th, showcasing weapons, combat drills, drone reconnaissance, and other demonstrations. Themed Innovative Transformation, the event aimed to showcase the Army's dedication to continuously improve overall responsive combat capabilities in a variety of situations. The celebration was hosted by Commanding General Lu Kunxiu in Taoyuan and included drills, a military parade, demonstrations of new weapons, and a presentation on the Army's restructuring and transformation over recent years. Some of the military equipment on display included HIMARS rocket systems, M1A2T Abrams tanks, missiles, armoured vehicles, and various drones, among other new acquisitions. Lu said that the Army is embracing new approaches, training, technology, and equipment. The focus, he said, is on developing Taiwan's asymmetric warfare capabilities, strengthening defensive resilience, and enhancing homeland defense. He emphasized that the current generation of the Army must hold itself to the strictest standards to live up to the history and reputation built over the last 80 years. The anniversary was also marked by Defense Minister Wellington Koo, who noted that Army revitalization efforts have also been crucial for disaster relief efforts, earning praise from the public. Koo issued congratulations, saying he hopes the Army will not only improve and enhance its combat capabilities, but also work to become a stable pillar for social stability and national security. President Lai Ching-te participated in a Taipei Youth Forum hosted by the Chinese Language Business Today in Taipei on Saturday, May 30th. He took advice from high schoolers and spoke on the special attention needed for social media platforms such as TikTok and RedNote. At the event, Lai interacted with high school students from across the country, listening to their concerns and engaging in dialogue on a variety of topics. The president revisited his stance on strengthening national security and economic resilience, and his goal to shift Taiwan away from economic dependence on China. He also underscored Taiwan's determination to avoid conflict and stand with other democratic countries. On the subject of China's United Front tactics, Lai and students discussed the multi-layered threats aimed at undermining Taiwan's sovereignty and national identity, especially in the soft power posed by social media. When discussing the importance of applying critical thinking while using these apps, students from Kangqiao International School suggested modelling Taiwan's history classes after the United States' advanced placement courses. They argued that these classes, which emphasize comparison and analysing the cause and effect of historical events on present-day realities, would likely equip Taiwanese students with stronger critical thinking skills to counter Chinese social media's, quote, redacted history, end quote. The president strongly agreed, saying that equipping Taiwan students with these skills would provide a shield for national identity and cultivate independent thinking. He noted that social media apps such as RedNote may present a skewed narrative, presenting China as a, quote, good guy, end quote, actor to future generations if not handled carefully. Lai said,
"We must not allow TikTok or RedNote to constantly indoctrinate people with false ideas 24/7, 365 days a year. As president, I have always considered this a very serious issue. If this is not handled properly, over time, Taiwan may lose the will to defend democracy and come to view China as a benevolent force. Even if it wants to annex or invade us, we may perceive it as a friend that poses no threat to Taiwan. We could lose the will to protect our own country."
Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang on Tuesday praised MediaTek's engineering capabilities as he appeared alongside the company's CEO, Rick Tsai, to discuss the jointly developed RTX Spark processor for Windows computers. Speaking at a global media briefing, Huang said the project brought together hundreds of engineers from both companies and took nearly 2 years to complete. The personal computer industry is undergoing its biggest transformation in 4 decades, Huang said, claiming that computers are evolving from traditional computing tools into platforms capable of running artificial intelligence agents with autonomous execution and reasoning abilities.
The architecture of an application, and this application is called an agent. The architecture of that is consistent throughout. It's called a harness. There are many different types of harnesses, but they're largely similar. They orchestrate the thinking process. The GPU still has to do thinking step by step by step. So it has to understand the context, the situation. It has to understand the intent, the prompt, and it has to reason about it, break down the problem step by step.
Huang said discussions with Microsoft about future generations of the Windows platform prompted Nvidia to consider what type of chips and computer architecture would be needed for AI agents. They decided to create RTX Spark, a system-on-chip platform designed to deliver high performance with low power consumption. The platform incorporates Nvidia's NVLink interconnect technology and is compatible with both Windows and the CUDA ecosystem. The Nvidia CEO said it is designed to support AI agent workloads, industrial applications, and gaming. Tsai said the collaboration was challenging but successful. He noted that MediaTek's expertise in low-power CPU technology, combined with NVLink's high-speed connectivity and a unified memory architecture linking CPUs and GPUs, helped create what he described as an, quote, ideal platform for AI agent computing, end quote. To prevent the Ebola virus from entering the country, Taiwan has implemented strict border control measures. Recently, the government has further tightened restrictions. Since May 27th, all travellers who have visited the Democratic Republic of the Congo, or DRC, or Uganda within the last 21 days have been subject to entry quarantine measures and 21 days of self-monitoring. As of this Tuesday, general residents of the DRC and Uganda are now prohibited from entering Taiwan. Spouses of Taiwanese nationals, diplomatic and official personnel, and students previously admitted to Taiwanese degree programs are exempt from this entry ban. On Wednesday, Health Minister Shi Tongliang and Centers for Disease Control, or CDC, Director General Luo Yijun visited Taoyuan International Airport. The minister was briefed on border preparedness measures and then personally inspected frontline quarantine operations. Shi explained that the government decided to introduce these additional border screening measures given the worsening Ebola outbreaks in the DRC and Uganda, this viral strain's high fatality rate, the lack of fully effective vaccines or treatments, and the fact that early symptoms are often non-specific and easily overlooked. Law added that from June 3rd through June 30th, free Ebola testing will be offered to asymptomatic travellers arriving from the DRC and Uganda at all 4 primary international airports. Taiwanese citizens and other incoming travellers with a travel history to the DRC or Uganda who do not show symptoms will be offered voluntary testing. For travellers arriving from affected areas who exhibit symptoms, Law said that referral systems for medical treatment have already been established at ports of entry. Contract hospitals will provide medical evaluation, while border agencies and airport authorities will assist with expedited processing. Taiwan CDC has raised the travel alert level for the DRC and Uganda to Level 3, warning. Anyone with a history of travel to affected areas experiencing symptoms consistent with Ebola infection, such as fever, headache, muscle pain, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, diarrhea or bleeding, should immediately notify quarantine personnel or call the 1922 Epidemic Prevention Hotline for assistance in obtaining medical care. An article by a retired US Army officer argues that the West cannot afford to lose Taiwan.
A new opinion piece argues that Taiwan's strategic importance extends far beyond semiconductor production and warns that the United States could face serious geopolitical consequences if it fails to maintain credibility with its Indo-Pacific partners. Writing for Fox News, Texas Public Policy Foundation Vice President and retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Chuck DeVore says Taiwan's value should be measured not only by its role in the global technology supply chain, but also by its geographic position, diplomatic significance, and democratic system. DeVore notes that Taiwan sits at the center of the first island chain, a strategic arc stretching from Japan to the Philippines that helps limit China's access to the wider Pacific Ocean. He argues that if Beijing were to gain control of Taiwan, China's expanding navy would have greater freedom to project power into the Pacific, increasing pressure on U.S. allies and military installations across the region. The article also warns that the loss of Taiwan, whether through military invasion, blockade, or political coercion, could weaken confidence in U.S. security commitments. According to DeVore, countries such as Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines could face growing pressure to reconsider their strategic ties with Washington. DeVore also argues that Taiwan's democratic system presents an ideological challenge to the Chinese Communist Party, which has long claimed that authoritarian rule is necessary for stability and development. DeVore concludes that Washington should strengthen deterrence by accelerating arms deliveries, deepening military cooperation, and investing in critical industries such as semiconductor manufacturing and shipbuilding. Joey Cho for RTI News.
And that is it for This Week in Taiwan. My name is Eloise Phillips. If you want to know more about what's going on in Taiwan, visit our website at rti.org.tw/en. Until next time.
Catch the latest RTI news, programs, previews, and more on our website, en.rti.org.tw.